Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn, and we are coming to you live from the Sedona Rouge Hotel, one of our sponsors, along with Broadcast Rentals and Sedona Advertising Agency. I'd like to thank our sponsors for participating in this year's festival. And I'd like to introduce to you two filmmakers that are joining us right now, Christine and Alex. Yes, and please tell us about the name of your film.
The film's called AMATERASU, and I'm the director of it, and Alex is the DP and editor. In the film, it's based on a Japanese sun goddess. Most cultures have a sun god, but in Japanese culture, the sun goddess she's female. And I really liked the story and decided to do a short film about her.
Now, how did you actually find out about the film? I mean, the
subject.
Yes, thank you.
Many years ago, I've always been interested in goddesses and what they kind of bring to our world, in the spirit world, and there are some goddesses that are raging like Kali, and there are some goddesses that are Kuan Yin is very much about being peaceful. Amaterasu, it's kind of a story about her grandness and her ego and how that gets her in trouble and possibly with difficult relationships and whatnot. And I like stories about women, powerful women, all kinds of women. So that's why I decided to do this story.
Okay, well, I'd like to play the trailer of the film first. So the first question I really want to ask is, who made all those puppets that are in the film?
Oh, I did.
You created every single one in
there. Yeah.
Wow.
Originally for the live stage production, I many years ago, I had made most of the puppets. I had to make a few more for this film. So yeah, that's my artwork.
How long did it actually take you to shoot this film?
Well, there was a few months of prep. We shot in 4 days. We used a studio that actually is very well adapted to miniatures and small things to shoot. So we had smaller lights, we had smaller stage, but I had to create the sets because in a live version there was no set basically. What you see in the beginning when the curtain opens, that's the small stage that I used to do the show on when I did it live.
Wow. We were talking briefly before we actually started the interview here about puppetry. And, I haven't seen that in quite some time. I mean, we talked about Sesame Street. We talked about some of the other things. But Sesame Street puppetry is pretty alive right now.
It absolutely is. And it's sort of one of those art forms that you don't always think of, partly because when it's done well in movies and television, it's often just seamless. Like we were talking about, Dark Crystal, it's recent series that was on TV, and there's a lot of puppets in that.
Yeah, and you get like Star Wars or the Jurassic World series, and where you have like live performance puppetry where they move the puppeteers or they integrate it with other CGI elements. But it's very hard to replicate kind of the magic and the life that a live performer gives a character. No, not to diss CGI and animators. They do a fantastic job as well, but there's just something special.
Right, and you're both part of an organization in LA that does this, correct?
Yeah, well, we're both involved with the Los Angeles Guild of Puppetry. I used to be president. Alex is currently the vice president, and we're basically puppeteers, about 180 members, and it's our community of puppeteers that love puppetry. We do live stage shows. We do screenings and workshops to increase our skills.
So do you actually collect puppets?
Oh. Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, I'm one of those that, yeah. But I try to be very, discerning, so I don't have every puppet under the sun. But I have quite a few.
So quite a few, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. I started out with marionettes. I worked at Bob Baker Marionette Theater many years ago, and after college, I thought, what am I going to do with my life? And I went and worked at a puppet theater, and thought, oh, I guess you could be a puppeteer as a career. What a thought, So I started out with marionettes. So I have a real soft spot for marionettes, which is why I also wanted to do this film with marionettes.
Where was the point where you decided to turn your love for puppetry and marionettes, into a film?
I did this show originally, like I said, for a stage production, but I always thought it would adapt well to the screen because of the lighting and the dynamics of it. And so fortunately, I was lucky to get some funding from Heather Henson, who is the youngest of the Jim Henson's kids, and she's really a huge supporter of puppetry and live puppetry as well as commissioning small films. So I applied and I got a grant from her for some money so I could actually do it. Didn't cover everything, but once you have that commitment of someone giving you some funding, it really helps actually accomplish it. Alex actually has been involved with them for quite a while.
Yep. Yeah.
And what is your role in the film?
With Handmade Puppet Dreams, which is Heather's the film series that AMATERASU got the partial funding from, I'm a film coordinator within that series, and then I also freelance doing cinematography and editing, which is what I did on her film.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So was this your first film in doing this?
It's my first film directing. I've worked in the film industry, so I worked on a lot of major motion pictures. Worked on Alien Resurrection and Team America, World Police, and a lot of films and television. But this is the first time I ever directed my own. So it was a whole different challenge and really exciting. I was so grateful to have Alex as my DP because he's shot a lot of puppet films. So it's a very different way of shooting because everything is sort of, is smaller, but you're in real time, unlike stop motion animation where things are done frame by frame and you do like 3 seconds over a period of a week or something. So it's very different.
Yep.
So is this your first time at the Sedona Film Festival?
Yes. Yeah. It's incredible. What a great festival. We've seen great films.
Yeah. And they look great as well. I
Yes.
think we were both talking before about this is one of the, just in terms of presentation, the screen and the sharpness and the sound and everything is one of the better film festivals we've been at to watch the film. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it many, many, many times. And so it's hard to get really excited. But I saw it so big and so crisp and with great sound. I was like, ah.
Yeah.
And the film actually showed already, correct?
Yeah, Sunday at 7 o'clock, and then it's screening again today at 1 o'clock. It's part of the compilation called Ambition, which I think is kind of fantastic for my film to be under that category. I love it.
Well, awesome. And how was the audience reaction to it?
Really good. It's always, people are just like trying to figure out, what to make of it because it's marionettes, so it's, puppets are already kind of an unusual format. And then since they're found objects, people are always saying, I saw the spoons, I saw this, I'm trying to figure out what everything is. And then I kind of just get lost in the whole visual of it. So I stop kind of trying to take it apart, that's kind of what I love the most. It's just kind of like when the whole thing just becomes kind of a vision altogether. Mm-hmm.
And real quick, one thing I love about what you decided with the film is to leave it a puppet film with the strings mm-hmm. and with all those practical things intact for the viewer to look
mm-hmm.
at. And for me, personally, it adds a lot. Mm-hmm. But I know people are even less used to seeing that. They're mm-hmm. used to having rods and everything removed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how can people find out about your film?
It's on Facebook on AMATERASU and also on my Facebook page myself. So, and then also Handmade Puppet Dreams, which is Heather's company. So it's also advertised through that.
Yep. So handmadepuppetdreams.com. You can find her film and others in the collection. But
There's a lot of
just know they're
amazing
winners.
puppet films out there that I would love to see in more festivals. I'm honestly, I'm so thrilled to have a puppet film here. There's almost never a category for puppetry. There's animation, but a lot of times people don't think puppetry really fits in. And so it's double exciting for me to be here. So thank you.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you both for being here and sharing your film with us. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. And if you are on social media, remember to hashtag Sedona Film Fest 2020 and hashtag Sedona Film Fest 26. We'll be back with more filmmaker interviews after this.